Hey guys, welcome to a new series of method guides for Hellfire Citadel. Today we're starting off with Hellfire Assault, and since Roger is on vacation, I have with me here Sonie.
Hello guys.
Hellfire Assault is the first encounter in Hellfire Citadel. It's a really easy encounter and most guilds are going to be considering it like a trash pool. It's basically a lot of mobs, you need to protect cannons. There's no specific one boss that you're fighting, and you're going to be AoEing and cleaving everything down until the end of the fight, which is not determined by when you kill the boss. It will be determined by when your friendly cannons finish off the doors. You can't make the fight go faster by having good DPS, you're just going to have to wait and sit it out, sadly.
The composition you want to use for Hellfire Assault is a normal raid composition, which consists of 2 tanks, 4 healers and 14 DPS. You would want to consider classes with high cleave damage, such as combat rogues. There is not much changed from the heroic encounter, except that the raid will split up most of the encounter and there's 2 extra named NPCs.
Outside of the 2 extra named NPCs that are new in the Mythic encounter, there's also the old ones, like Siege Master Martak, which is the one you're going to be engaging on the pool of the fight. She will flee still at 50% HP, she'll run off, go to the Iron Reaver, prepare for the next boss fight, but you gotta finish this one first. She'll also throw Howling Axes at you to cast a Shockwave, so move out of the Shockwave, and she'll be inspiring the mobs near her with Inspiring Presence. But considering you nuke her down to 50% really fast, this is not a real big deal, and you can just tank her inside everything else.
You will also encounter Iron Dragoons, which are pretty much useless, but you will just kill them, and Hulking Berserkers, which use Slam, which tanks needs to look a bit at their stacks to see if they go too high, and then should maybe use a personal cooldown. They will also have Cower, which is annoying and slows.
Just like in Heroic, there's also Gorebound Fellcasters. They'll be casting Hellfire Volleys, which you should kick to avoid as much raid damage as you can. And when they go under 50%, they'll be going into Metamorphosis. This is when you want to focus them down and kill them as soon as possible, because if you have several of them up, the raid is going to wipe really fast because they'll be spamming Hellfire Volleys.
Then we also have the Contracted Engineers, and they use the Repair, which is kickable, and you can also knock it. Then they also cast Conducted Shock Pulse, which is dispellable, which all healers should prioritize getting rid of as quick as possible. And they also put Boom, which is basically bombs that you need to move away from.
Now besides these NPCs that we mentioned, there's also 2 extra named NPCs in the Mythic encounter. The first one is Grand Corruptor Urok. He'll be casting Corruption Nova. If you've done the trash on Heroic, you know how it looks. It's going to be green swirly zones on the ground that you do not want to step into, because it deals a lot of damage. He'll also be casting Corruption Bolt on the tank, which is not a big deal, just heal it up. And lastly, Corruption Siphon, bringing players to very low health, giving them a healing shield equal to that amount. So you need to heal them for basically double the damage that it dealt, because you need to heal up their health pool and secondly the debuff they have, as it's absorbing the healing they take.
The second mob is Groot, which does a Cannonball, which is basically a leap that you want to stay a bit spread out for. The second ability he does is Shockwave, which is exactly like Siege Master, and then he also does Cover and Slam, like the Hulking Berserkers.
Also in the fight there will be siege vehicles. These are going to try to kill your cannons, and once you kill them they'll be dropping ammunition that you need to drag towards your cannons so they can actually shoot and finish the encounter. First up there's the Hellfire Crusher. This is the drill machine that comes through the middle of the fight. It'll be casting Bore in front of it, and it's also burn randomly around each siege vehicle, so when you're attacking it you're gonna get fire stacks, which you don't really have to care about as it's random and you can't avoid it. Second siege vehicle is the Hellfire Flame Belcher. It'll be throwing fire at you with Belch Flame. You can't do much about it, and you just want to kill it as soon as you see it.
The third vehicle is called Hellfire Artillery, and it has an ability called Artillery Blast. You need to kill him before he gets the cast off, because otherwise your cannons will take a lot of damage. They spawn on the left and the right side, so each group has to deal with them respectively. The next vehicle is called Hellfire Demolisher, which uses Siege Nova, which fires a series of mortars in a targeted direction. You will just want to kill this vehicle as quick as possible.
The last siege vehicle in this fight is the Hellfire Transporter. This will bring enemy NPCs into the fight. However, if you kill it fast enough, it will not spawn anything at all.
Before the encounter begins, you will want to split the raid in 2 groups, with equal tanks and healers and DPS on each side. You will want to start the encounter stacked up in the middle and fighting Siege Master. Bring her to 50% and then you will want to spread out around 1 minute into the encounter when the first vehicle will spawn.
From that moment on, you'll be split up in the 2 groups that you've assigned at the start of the fight. One for the left side and one for the right side. After around 3 minutes into the fight, an Iron Crusher and a Transporter will be spawning in the middle, and this means that you need to go back to the center and group up, as you'll be getting several waves in the middle of the room. These waves also include the Grand Corruptor Urok and Groot, and at this point we advise you to use Bloodlust or Heroism, as this is one of the heavier parts of the fight.
Once you've dealt with these two mobs, you will want to split up the raid again into two sides when you see the Hellfire artillery spawns, and you will want to stay there for the rest of the encounter.
There's a few debuffs in this encounter that the tanks and healers want to keep track of. First off is the slam that the tanks want to keep track of. If it's taxed too high, you're going to take increased physical damage and you want to maybe use a personal cooldown or ask for an external cooldown. For the healers, you want to track Hellfire munitions. This is when the player picks up the ammo box and runs it to the cannons, heal them up and give them some huts because they might be going out of range. And lastly, there's conducted shock pulse, which is the stun, and you want to dispel this if anyone is affected by it.
You will want to use classes with high mobility to deliver the Hellfire munitions. Avoid pushing the Fellcasters below 50% if a vehicle is incoming, and it's recommended to use stampeding roars to get to the vehicles very quickly.
That wraps it up for our Hellfire Assault video for Hellfire Citadel Mythic.
Thanks for watching, and remember to like, comment and subscribe.